Hey everybody, it's Jeff Short with CHAUVET DJ. Happy Friday. In fact, this is 15-minute Fridays here live on Facebook Live, and I'm coming to you live from the CHAUVET DJ showroom here at headquarters in Sunrise, Florida. I love the idea of Facebook Live. One of my favorite things to do is to travel around the country and sometimes even around the world to meet all of you fantastic, smart, creative entertainers from everywhere to talk about gigs and lighting and gear. It's one of my favorite things. I learned so much from you guys, and it's the biggest treat and privilege to be able to share ideas. This is kind of a virtual way to do that. You guys are familiar with Facebook Live, but you can tune in every Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time for 15-minute Fridays with CHAUVET DJ. We're just going to spend a couple minutes sharing with you a great new fixture, a great new idea, different things to talk about. Be sure and check us out. Leave comments, leave questions. We'll try to get to those. Any questions we don't get to, we'll certainly answer later. This video will be able to be accessed later as well. So we're happy that you're here. Thank you for being here, and welcome to CHAUVET DJ. We're looking forward to a long Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you got some gigs lined up this weekend, and if you do, this is one of those great new tools I was talking about. This is the CHAUVET DJ Intimidator Spot 375Z IRC. So we're going to talk about what kind of events this would be great for, the different features of it, what comes in the box, and answer some of your questions for a quick 15 minutes on a Friday afternoon. So let's get to it. You know, more and more special event clients these days are expecting bigger and better gear. They want more bang for their buck. In fact, they're even willing to pay for it. You know, there's been so much influence from different media, whether it's Dancing Through the Stars or The Voice or what have you, that have these amazing light shows and huge production numbers, and clients are wanting those for their special events. Our mobile entertainment gigs are getting bigger and bigger, and they require bigger gear. There's things that we haven't, considered in the past, things like trussing and staging and audio and video elements that if you are growing from a single op wedding DJ on the weekends, you may not have considered. Well, it's time to consider that, because that's where the market is going. That's where our special event clients are going, and this is what they're looking for. This is a great tool to sort of meet one of those demands in terms of lighting. The Intimidator line of moving heads at CHAUVET DJ is something we're all very proud of, because they are durable, rugged, powerful, bright, and feature-packed, and this is no exception. So for any event that requires a little bit bigger, a little bit more, a little bit brighter, this is a great fixture for that. So things like proms, community events, this is a great theatrical fixture as well, because of the features that it has and the brightness that it has to be able to throw long or short distances. So it's a great option for theatrical use as well. Anything that your mind can dream up where you need some powerful lighting fixture behind what you're trying to do, the Intimidator Spot 375Z IRC is a fantastic option for you. So we're going to go through a couple looks and tell you a little bit about what's going on with this particular light. You know what moving heads do, but this one is feature-packed, and it's just amazing for any sort of event that you can think of. So to start off with, it is powered with a 150-watt bright LED. It's a powerful LED that's, again, bright enough for these big events, that's going to give you that visual bang that you're looking for and that your clients are looking for. It also has motorized zoom. I can just demonstrate a couple of these things against the white wall for you as well. Motorized zoom, thus the Z in the name, the Spot 375Z IRC. So let's take a look at what that motorized zoom can do. So the motorized zoom is perfect for things like short or long throw distances. So depending on what your venue is and where you need that light to be, this motorized zoom is a fantastic feature to have, because you don't have to manually try and figure out what that distance is and what the most effective look is going to be for you at those distances. Motorized zoom is incredible. Let me back up a step and just talk a little bit about the setup that I have going on here. It's a very simple setup. I've got the light going on. I've got Show Express running on my MacBook Pro here, and we've just set up a couple live buttons to demonstrate a couple of these looks. I've got DMX coming through USB out into this Express 512 interface, and then the DMX going out of the interface into the fixture itself. And so it's a very simple setup here, but this is very simple to control. We'll talk about the control options in just a few minutes. The Intimidator Spot 375Z IRC has, speaking of DMX, a couple different DMX modes. It has two to be exact, 9-channel or 15-channel. As most of you who are familiar with DMX know, many fixtures have different modes, or what we call personalities. Some have 2 or 3 or more. This particular fixture has 2 different settings that you can choose between depending on the amount of control you want to have. We just did a video about DMX basics that I encourage you to take a look at if you're sort of still wading in the new waters of DMX. If you're a more advanced user, this is all old news to you and something you're very familiar with. But in general, moving heads, while you don't have to control them through DMX, DMX is probably the most efficient way, the most powerful way to control a moving head, because you have absolute control over things like the motorized zoom and pan and tilt and color wheels and gobo wheels and so forth. So this has 2 DMX personalities, 9-channel, 15-channel. This one right now is set to 15 channels of control. So, and those settings are also easy to access through the easy-to-read LCD screen, which I'll get to in a second as well. So in addition to motorized zoom, this also has motorized focus. Now, going back to the whiteboard here, if you will, it's really effective to be able to take gobos and looks in and out of focus depending on what you're trying to do. For instance, in theatrical use, we may break up this gobo into multiple prisms, depending on how many prisms an individual fixture has. I'll show you that in a second as well. But it can be really effective to take a design like this out of focus, create many instances of that look, and then maybe change the color of that as well, and project that over a surface like a stage, for instance, over a band, over a dance floor, over a theatrical set. It's a very effective look to have these sort of breakup patterns, and that motorized focus allows you to do that very quickly through, again, DMX programming. You can just, as you can see with the touch of a button, I'm taking it in and out. So right now the fixture is doing nothing. With the touch of this button, I can go right to that look that I was trying to achieve, and it's just that simple. So motorized focus, again, a very powerful effect and feature to have on a fixture like the Intimidator Spot 375Z IRC. Now, going back to the prisms, this particular fixture has dual rotating prisms. On this look, you can see how that takes that single gobo and it divides it. And the 2 different prisms have different facets, either 6-facet or 5-facet, depending on which prism we're talking about. But essentially, you have that power to create amazing visual effects. So you can see here's the single gobo, and it goes to the prism breakout. Now, in this particular instance, as you can see, the prisms rotate. So there's 2 rotating prisms. In this look here, the gobo itself is also rotating. So it's an important distinction to make because you get even more dynamic movement. Of course, all of this depends on the DMX channel mode that you have the fixture set to and how much DMX control you have. But the speeds on all these rotations is variable, so you can make it faster or slower and change the direction as well of the rotation. So as you can see, with just already, 3 features, you've got your motorized zoom, your motorized focus, and your dual rotating prisms, you have a very powerful fixture here. And again, a lot of these fixtures are included in many of the Intimidator line of moving heads, but when you put them all together in certain combinations, these become very powerful tools to light these larger events. Going on from the prisms, I would like to talk a little bit about totem mode. So here's typically what happens. If you were just turning a moving headlight on and having it go through automated programs, it would be doing something like this. Full 360-degree rotation, tilt is going up and back and forward. But if my dance floor or my area of focus is here in front of me, I'm wasting a lot of the light as it goes behind me, as you can see what it's doing now. So what I'd like to do is still have that movement, which is such a benefit to moving heads, but I'd like to have it in front of me. That's easy to do on the Intimidator 375Z IRC. What we do, though, is we access that benefit from this easy-to-read, clear LCD screen. You can see right here, this is telling me that I'm on DMX channel 1. So I'm going here to my various selections, and I'm going to setup, and I'm selecting totem mode, and now you can see we still have the movement, but the rotation is limited to this angle here. So now my beams are staying in front of me. And it's just that easy to access this powerful feature. It's on any of the Intimidator line that have that LCD, clear, easy to read screen on the front, that menu access on the front of the fixture. It's a feature that you just set it and forget it, and now no matter what this light is doing, it's staying in front of you. Again, if I take that off, the light goes wherever it wants to go, which is not what I want, but just for demonstration purposes, I will take it out, and again, the light's going everywhere, which is great for some applications as well. It just depends on what you need and how you control this light. This is really the real benefit of having a moving headlight, and why I said before that DMX control is the best way to control a moving headlight, because they're so dramatic. They create such a dramatic visual effect that to be able to control where that drama is happening and when is the epitome of special event lighting. So again, we go back to things like a first dance, a grand entrance, to have that ability to have multiple fixtures, even two, suddenly lock those beams on that couple exactly as they enter through the door, and then maybe have one of those breakup patterns by splitting the prism up, taking it out of focus on the dance floor, creating a really beautiful texture, really becomes dramatic, and that's what your clients are looking for, is what's going to set you apart. So DMX control is a fantastic way to use a moving headlight, and the movement of the light is also, that frenetic energy also helps the energy of things like a dance floor or that feeling of drama to a special event. This becomes visual architecture, if you will, moving through the atmosphere. Obviously, very, very dramatic and very effective with some haze and fog in the air. I understand sometimes that's a challenge depending on what your venue is, but man, you know there is nothing like dramatic beams happening in sequence the way you've programmed them, when and where you want them, and to see those beams doing that is like no other effect. So it's a very powerful way to use the Intimidator Spot 375. So just again, to wrap up, you might have seen these, Jeremy Breck used these at the Mobile Beat Entertainment Experience room in Las Vegas. These things are very, very dramatic and easy to use. You can control them through the IRC6 remote, which is not included in the box. You can control, they have automated programs or sound activated programs. And they also have a PowerCon connection, so the power is not going to come out. You can link these up to 3 fixtures. They have 7 gobos plus 1 open gobo, 7 colors plus 1 open color. Feature packed the Intimidator Spot 375Z IRC. So check this fixture out by all means. Check with your local dealer. Search for it online to get the pricing and availability, but this is something you definitely want to have in your big event arsenal. This is 15-Minute Fridays with CHAUVET DJ on Facebook Live. So glad you could join us. Have a happy Memorial Day. I'm Jeff Short with CHAUVET DJ. Thanks for watching.